Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television, GPTV. I'm Brett. On my hands is The Walking Dead Deluxe number 76, written by Robert Kirkman, art by Charlie Adlard, color by Dave McCaig, lettering by Rus Wooton. Now, The Walking Dead Deluxe is The Walking Dead issue by issue, except it's colorized. There's also a little bit extra with Robert Kirkman's notes, and there's also, I believe, some new letters in it from people. So you get a little bit of a bonus, but it is basically a colorized version of The Walking Dead being released issue by issue. So this has been an interesting read. I mean, obviously when The Walking Dead originally came out, it was decades ago, and it was a very different time. During then, there was maybe some economic uncertainty. There was obviously fears of terrorism. Some other rumblings depending on when things were released. But now we've got a whole different world. Things have completely shifted, so like the context and how you're coming to read it is totally different. So what's been interesting is, obviously zombie apocalypse, COVID outbreak is very easy to kind of, compare the two. So it's been interesting reading that through that context. In the beginning, I think Kirkman did an amazing job that, government wasn't going to come save us and that everything would go to shit in a outbreak, and I think generally we can make an argument that was the case. And the series has been really interesting since as to where it's gone. Now, it always hasn't been like completely touching the topic, but now we've got the crew in Alexandria. And it's very much like Rick and his crew trying to decide if things can go back to normal, where you have Alexandria that seems to be, I'd say generally, not necessarily oblivious, but definitely lower, they take the zombie threat less seriously than Rick and all of them. So it's been kind of a fascinating read to see, like, can you go back to normal? So up to this point, like, things have been brewing and building with Rick, and issue 75, like, Rick finally loses his shit, comes, spewing out, beats the crap out of a guy, and the question is, where do things go from there? Can he keep his job as sheriff? Can he, does he have to be exiled? What's his relationship with Carl? And I think it's a kind of an interesting comic, not necessarily because it, like, parallels, we're not seeing people completely lose their shit in a, specific way. But I really think it's like, what Kirkman has nailed is that after this pandemic, their version of the pandemic, you got some people who just have such trauma, such PTSD from it, like it's bottled up and eventually it's going to come out. And we've seen it with Rick and we're seeing it with other people. I mean, go talk to other people, like no one seems to be the same. Everyone has this weird tense nature about them. Just, you can feel the tense vibe that's out there. Like, it is not the same pre and post COVID. And add on top of that all the other insanity and bullshit that's going on in the world. Like, things have just kind of been brewing, and the question is when things are going to explode. And I think we've seen it here and there with some people, but generally, like, it's not quite that Rick level. But, like, I think what's amazing about the series and what's really good about the series is Kirkman's actually kind of nailed what happens during a pandemic and post-pandemic really, really well. He's actually been pretty accurate as to where things stands and where things go. So to him, like, props. I actually have to say massive props to him. He's really kind of, I think, nailed we'll call them steps, whatever, cycle steps, what happens pre-post, all that. So as I said, it's The Walking Dead except colorized. And I think the color adds a little bit to it. Like, it's not a totally different comic. It's not like it was before. But there's times here and there that I think it picks up some small details that are really, really interesting. And to me, like, my concern was, like, is the gross over the top nature of some points in the comic, is it going to become distracting? And what I personally think is, like, there's not enough of that it does become distracting. As a whole, like, the comic hit a groove as far as its look for quite a while. So, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I personally like it. I think it's just a great style for the comic. So overall, really interesting read. As always, an interesting read. Where things go, like, other than Negan coming up, I really don't remember much else that's coming. So yeah, it's going to be kind of fun to explore. You can go get it, though. You get your own copy. It is at comic shops. We got a link beneath this video. Put in your zip code. I'll tell the comic shops near you. No shop, no problem. We do have some links where you can purchase your own. There'll be affiliate links, so you do get a small percentage. By doing that, you'll support our site. So thank you. And speaking of support, just watching our videos support us, so thank you for that. If you're into comics, check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, Instagram, TikTok, Mastodon, Threads, Blue Sky, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. Until next time, keep reading those comics and keep it geeky.
Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.